Now to Tasmania, where the first step has been taken to end decades of conflict between conservationists and the timber industry. Both sides reached a formal agreement today to phase out logging in native forests in the state. The deal also puts an immediate stop to logging in high conservation value areas. While many of the details are still to be worked out, there are fears some sawmills may face closure as Tasmania moves to a plantation-based timber industry. Martin Cudahy reports from Tasmania.
G'day guys, sorry to keep you waiting all.
After more than 30 years of often bitter conflict, today green groups and loggers handed over a historic peace deal. They've agreed on the future of the timber industry, signed a statement of principles and given it to Tasmania's Premier.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Good on Phil, congratulations.
I believe we've got a long way to go, but this is a very good start.
The statement is essentially an agreement that imposes an immediate moratorium on logging in high conservation value forests. It will also bring to an end all logging in native forests. How long that will take hasn't been determined.
We're going to have to create a whole new plantation estate if we're going to successfully make this transition. The growing time for a plantation through to a sawlog value is anything up to 30 years.
Certainly there's strongly different views about what a transition, an appropriate transition timeline and framework looks like. We're going to take our views into the next stage of the process.
The deal also provides scope for the construction of a pulp mill, but that almost certainly won't be the Gunns proposal in northern Tasmania.
There's obviously still, from environment groups' point of view, significant environmental problems with the current proposal in the Tamar Valley, including marine pollution, for example.
The battle line was drawn at Farmhouse Creek.
Today's fragile agreement comes after decades of disputes over the fate of Tasmania's forests. When protesters locked themselves in this car 2 years ago to block access to a logging coupe, they were attacked.
In Tasmania there has been, almost a civil war going on over our forests.
Forest Industries Association of Tasmania.
In an effort to broker a peace deal, a new player emerged last year, claiming to represent both industry and environmentalists. From day one, our common ground has been adamant the only way forward is to protect native forests and log plantation timber only.
We believe that we can have a solution where we both secure the jobs of timber workers in Tasmania and we also protect Tasmania's native forests.
Today, that vision was realised.
We do believe that we've now got a unique opportunity to move beyond the decades of conflict over our native forests.
The groups have been meeting for about 5 months and both sides have had to make concessions.
Even though they're losing jobs, they're aware that a transition into a viable, sustainable industry is better than the future that they're facing at the moment.
They have persisted and have made this once-in-a-generation opportunity come to fruition.
One thing is abundantly clear, not everyone is happy with the agreement.
It's going to be extremely difficult because, again, a cultural connection with our working forest is not something that you can structurally adjust. You can't sort of refinance it. It's something much deeper than that.
Fewer trees to cut down inevitably means fewer jobs. In the first sign of what could become a familiar tale across the island state, a sawmill in the northeastern town of Scottsdale was shut down yesterday by the timber giant Gunns. 120 jobs from the community will disappear by early next year.
We've all sort of knew it was going to happen. Like I said, a lot of us have got the opinion that originally Gunns had just bought the place and shut them down.
The local mayor is frustrated and believes his community has been dealt a double blow.
Either the conservation movement or the environmental movement and some of the industries don't get affected on the ground. It's the workers and the local communities who are affected, and that's why I get peeved that we haven't had a voice in it.
There could be as many as 4 more Gunns sawmills that close in the next few months. Today's agreement has been likened to a ceasefire, with the details of the peace treaty yet to be hammered out. There's no doubt a restructure of sorts is needed, and that could cost as much as $1 billion.
The Tasmanian government cannot do this alone. It is vital that our federal colleagues and the Tasmanian government are on the same page together.
The government will look at the details and work through our response to it, just as the Tasmanian government will. But I do think it's important for the House to acknowledge the extraordinary work that's been done in building a consensus in Tasmania.
So now the hard work begins, and negotiations for an exit package will probably go on for years.
And we see this as an important milestone, but it's only the first step in what will no doubt be a very difficult process.
And the Premier David Bartlett will be looking to Canberra for help with exit packages for workers whose jobs may disappear. Julia Gillard can expect a call this week. Martin Cudahy reporting from Hobart, and that's the